Microphone check 1 2 1 2. That's right. It's your boy DJ Mad Scientist. I'm here. Not clean shaven as usual, but I'm here. Probably wondering, why are you not clean shaven, Mad Scientist? Not going to the club tonight. That's why. Why am I not going to the club? Because I'm gonna be here with you. That's why. So let's get into what we're going to get into because it's going to be a long and bumpy ride. Okay. Today we are on part 3 of music marketing, modern hip hop production, part 3. Okay. And so in the previous weeks, previously on music marketing with mad scientists, we talked about um, making useful music. Okay. Making music that fit into a certain platform so that um, you're going to have greater success with the music that you make being liked, being played, being enjoyed by the people that operate within the platform and those who enjoy the platform. Okay, so you want to have success with people who operate within the platform, and you also want to have success with the people who are enjoying the entertainment of the platform. So we talked about that in part 1. In part 2, we start talking about um, clip to zero music mixing, okay, where you're actually mixing the music at a very loud level. I didn't really go into the nuances of mixing, equalization and things of that nature, primarily because that's not the point of this exercise. The point of this exercise is how do we make useful music? Okay. How do we um, make music that people are able to use and people are able to enjoy? Okay. Um, and so we talked about how to get loud music, on the at the tracking level, at the group level, and at the master channel level. Okay. And then last week we talked about how do we get to the point where um, the vocals will be loud as well. We talked about saturation. We talked about, which is the biggest thing to get things loud, saturation. We talked about, how do we get a very, very small, um, um, you know, it's crazy. It's like I should have a teleprompter and a speech, but I don't. How do we get a very small dynamic range, right? And before we move forward, there's a couple things I want to like show you. The first thing is audio clipping, right? Because I promised you that I would do this audio clipping. So let me do that, and then let me get an image. Let me find a really great image. Oh yeah, I like this one. Okay, so you guys could at least understand what audio clipping is and what it looks like. Okay, for those who don't know what it looks like, um, I can now actually show you. Um, come back here. Okay, share screen. All right. Okay, so now you're able to see what audio clipping actually looks like. You see an image representation. Usually the signal looks like this first signal, this blue signal. Let me make sure that you're actually seeing it. Okay. And you see how it's nice and smooth, this input signal. When you're clipping, you get this green um, image where it comes up to the top, it clips, and then it goes down here, it clips. Now, this little square section right here is going to cause distortion. Okay. A small amount of distortion. And the more you clip it, the more distortion you get. So, what you want to do when you're clipping is you want to clip it just to the point where the distortion just barely starts, or in some cases you have just a little bit of distortion, right? Probably with the vocals, you're not going to clip as hard as you would with drums. With drums, yeah, you could, this is good, okay, with drums, but with vocals, not so much, okay? So I wanted to show you that. That is clipping. Okay. So that way, you guys know what I mean when I'm saying like clip to zero. You want to clip on every channel. You also want to clip on every group and clip on the master channel. Okay. And that way that'll get your music to be louder. That's essentially what you're doing in order to make your music get loud is by clipping. Okay. And by saturation. And then when you get to vocals, another thing I want to show you guys is dynamic range, what that actually looks like. Dynamic range. Okay, audio. Audio. Okay. Let me find a really good example of dynamic range. Okay, this looks good. Okay, perfect. All right. So let me pull this up for you. So we talk about dynamic range. Okay, so you actually see this diagram here, right? Now, whenever you have a signal, any kind of signal, this is what it actually looks like in your DAW. Okay, it doesn't look that little, that the previous example where it was like a nice smooth. No, that's not how it looks. This is how your audio actually looks. Okay, the dynamic range is from the top point to this little middle section, right? It's not from here, it's not from top to bottom. That's not what we're referring to. It's this peak here all the way to right here. This is zero. Okay. And what you want is, you see this arrow right here, this dynamic range, in order to get your music loud. I would say in regular hip hop, you want this dynamic range to be like 3 dB. Okay, so from here to say this is zero, you want the top to be 3. In pop, I would say and I would say, you can go probably 3 to 4. In pop music, which is what Mad Scientist does, essentially. It's hip hop, but it's more pop hip hop. Um, my goal is to get 2 to 3. So I want this to be 2 to 3. So if this were a vocal, I would be bringing this peak down and see this one right here? Like you see this right here? I would bring it down if it's too high. And this part right here, I would make it louder. And then this little breath right here, I don't know if you guys can see where I'm pointing, but this little breath right here, I would cut that out because I don't want that breath to be, unless it just feels unnatural to cut it out. But if I could get away with cutting it out, I would cut it out. And then see right here, I would bring it up so that they're all pretty much, they don't have to be at this, like this peak right here. No, I would probably bring it down to match this. So I would actually bring the volume down to this peak, bring it down, and I would try to make everything across the board around the same. Okay. It's not going to be perfectly like this one right here. I would bring it up, this peak up, and then I would bring all this meat and bring it up. Now it's never going to be perfect. Everything is just stabilized because you don't want that. Okay. You don't want everything just to be like, like static. Okay. That's no dynamic range. But this right here, for what I'm doing, then it's not consistent enough. It's loud and then come down here, then medium, a little louder and then come back. Nah, that's not what I want. I'm actually literally going to take this section here and make it louder. Take this peak here and bring it down. I don't want any peaks. I want it as close as straight across as this line. Okay. As close as straight across as this line as I can. Okay. And that's the whole process when you're trying to get, when you're automating your vocals. And that way, what ends up happening is your vocals will stand out. Okay, because you're never getting to the point where you're going back and coming back up and going back. You're always in front, so your vocals are louder. Okay, they appear to be louder. They appear to be louder. They stand out, and then you got your drums doing the same thing. They stand out. You got your bass doing the same thing. They stand out, and that's how you make a club hit. Now, does that work for every genre of music? No, it does not. I tried that technique with MC Johnny T, and I like his project. Project sounds good. It's great. It's amazing. But I felt like it sounded hip hop, but not the type of hip hop that his platform is looking for. Now, it wasn't a complete fail because, I don't want it to sound like it's coming from the 90s, right? But I made his project minus 8.5 loves. I told him in the future, I'm just sticking to minus 9 loves. Now, I'll still make sure his vocals are consistent, but instead of it being 2 to 3 dB of dynamic range, I'll probably make it 3 to 4 dB of dynamic range just because he's a lyricist. And I want him to have all those little subtle nuances in his music. And that's what that'll allow him to do. If you were doing jazz, definitely more of a dynamic range, a larger dynamic range, because there's more nuances, right? There's more quiet parts and then loud parts. Same thing with classical music, quiet parts and loud parts. That's to be expected. But when you're doing music for nightclubs, there's no such thing as a quiet part in nightclub music. So I wanted to show you guys that. I didn't get a chance to show you guys that last week, but I wanted to show you guys that. And we were going to be talking about mastering, but I didn't get a chance to. I don't know how to like show the plug-in. So sorry. But I do have a very special thing that I'm going to do for you today, which I think is very important. And because again, this is not a class per se. I'm pretty much just showing you guys my process of becoming famous. Okay, and what I'm doing in order to become famous. Um, oh, hey mate, I really love your stream and enjoy being a part of your community. Would you mind adding me up on Discord? Okay. So I appreciate that. I appreciate that. Thank you. I appreciate that. Okay. So what we're going to do today is instead of doing the mixing, which I will tell you this, I use Ozone 11 for my mastering, and I let it do what it do. Okay, I think Ozone has Ozone 12. I just didn't upgrade because I think it cost me like $300. I didn't want to spend the money, to be honest, for the upgrades it was giving me. Like it did upgrade, but for what it was giving me, it wasn't worth $300. So I'm just being real with you. All right. So what we're gonna do instead is I've got to starting next week. I've got to start rolling this music out. I have the music, and next Friday, I'm actually going to let you guys hear it. And that way you guys can judge it and let me know how you feel about it. But I've got to start rolling it out. Now, normally what people do is um they just post links. Hey, listen to my music, listen to my music, listen to my music. And they hope that the people who follow them are going to click the link. Here's the problem with posting links. Doesn't matter what the link is. Facebook, which is also Instagram, um, TikTok, all the social media sites, they're in the business of keeping people on their site for a long term. They're not in the business of sharing the way we think of sharing, right? They're in the business of keeping people on their platform longer. So the moment you say, here's a link, leave the platform, Facebook, Instagram, all of them are working against you unless you pay them. So then you get into part two, which is, okay, I'm just going to pay and have people see the link. And you see a lot of people do that. The problem with that is that when people go to these social media sites, they're not going there to say, I can't wait to see what link I'll find today. They're just not saying that. They're not going there for the link. People don't log on to TV for the commercials. They don't go to Netflix because they want to see the ads. I don't even know if Netflix has ads, but you get my point. No one wants to see ads. And when you have a link and then you start paying Facebook to show it to everybody, you've essentially created an ad. That's what you created, an ad. And no one wants it. The only reason why Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, they're tolerating it is if you pay them. So what you think you're doing by posting links is actually counterproductive. Okay. It's not a good thing. So I want to tell you, stop posting links, stop paying for ads. I was the king of paying for ads. Okay. And I'm telling you, they give you a false illusion. Do the ads work? Yes. People have seen what you do. They're seeing it because you pay Facebook and Instagram to show it to people. Then you have to discount for the fact that most people are not going to click it because they're seeing something that does not add to their life. Because no one wakes up and says, I cannot wait to see a link and click it. They don't do that. Usually when people are going on these social media sites, it's because they are feeding into something that they want, whether it's addiction to social media, seeing what their friends are doing, seeing what their lovers are doing, but they're not saying, I can't wait to go click a link. That is just not on the list. It's not on the bottom of the list. It's definitely not on the top because it's not on the list. So, yes, people have seen it. They know that your music exists, but that is not what you want. What you want is for people to enjoy your music. You want them to experience it. You don't want them to hear it. Hearing it is okay. What does that do for you? I'll tell you, not a lot. Okay. I DJ at clubs. People hear music all the time, everywhere they go. Elevators, restaurants, bars, nightclubs, lounges. Is music everywhere. And so people are used to right now hearing music and totally ignoring it. They're already used to that. There's no more, oh my God, did you hear this thing called music? Those days are over. Okay. So people just people hearing your music, it doesn't take any effect. What you want is for people to experience. You want people to engage with your music. That's really what you want. And Facebook doesn't do that. You know who does it? You do it. You help people engage with the music. And so That's what we're going to talk about today because that's what I had to figure out. And I went to my AI assistant, New Soul. Shout out to New Soul. And I was able to develop a plan in which I could help people engage with the music so that the music is not, I'm not posting links. Now, I'll tell you honestly, I posted some links. It's just a habit, right? So I posted some links, but and there are some people nice enough to go and listen, and I appreciate them. But I have 6,000 followers on Instagram. I think 10 people went. So it's just not effective. It's a habit that we all do. And I just did it off habit. I think I was bored and I was like, man, I'll do it. But I knew in the back of my mind and in the front of my mind, she wasn't gonna, I'm trying not to cuss. It wasn't gonna work. Okay. It was not gonna be effective. That's not what I want to do. All right. So I'm gonna share my screen again. And I'm actually going to show you what I developed with my teammate, New Soul. If you're listening, New Soul, I give you a shout out. Okay. So we developed what we call a weekly structure, simple and sustainable. Okay. He says, this is his actual words. I'm going to give you a rhythm you can repeat every week. Each week, I'm going to do 2 short videos, one for TikTok, IG Reels, one behind the scenes, personality post, one DJ life or environment clip, and then one repost reaction community moment. That's it. 5 pieces of content per week, no burnout. And this is going to happen for 4 weeks. Okay. And so week 1 will be introducing the energy of the song. Let people feel the record without selling it. See, this is what he's talking about. Before I move on, let me explain something to you guys. Because I've had this question where people will say, it's AI. Why are you going to AI? Like, I don't understand. And I feel like, and I could be wrong, I've never asked, but I feel like people think that AI is some other being that exists and it has a level of intelligence. That's not what AI is. AI is a computer generated task master. That's it. It just runs tasks. So when I tell it, this is what I want a 4-week program in which I can introduce my audience to my music. It would go into the internet. It's going to learn by reading. That's a task. It's going to comprehend, summarize, and then say, based upon what it's learned on the internet, what it read or learned in the internet, it's going to spit out an answer. We do this all the time. Calculators do this all the time. Calculators can't count. You have to type in what you want, and a calculator just, based upon its program, will give you an answer. So I have to type in 1 plus 1 equals, and then the calculator will then spit out, based on its programming, 2. But if I were to just look at the calculator and talk to it and say, give me 1 plus 1 without typing anything, just give me 1 plus 1, what does it equal? The calculator is just going to be like looking at me with its calculator eyes because it doesn't know what I want. It doesn't know what to say. It doesn't know how to respond. That's what AI is. It's just a calculator, but for other information, not math. Okay. And so that's what I did. Now I could go learn all this stuff on my own. Okay. But I don't want to do that much reading. Okay. I don't have time to do all that much reading. First, I have to find the sources. Then I have to read it, summarize it, and then create the plan. Could I do it Yes, I'm educated enough to do it. Do I want to do that? No. Just like I don't like mastering. So I'm not going to master. I'm not going to like try to create a program on my own. All right, let's get into it. So the first week, I'm introducing the energy. Let people feel the record without selling it. So no posting links. Okay. So my first post is going to be a studio car test. I'm going to put it on TikTok and IG Reels. I'm just going to have the music going and I'm nodding, no talking, just a caption, testing new music. That's it. That's what people do in the studio all the time. That's what I do all the time. I make a beat, I take it to my car and I listen to it. How's it sound? So I'm just letting people see what I normally do. Okay. Now I may, okay, make a longer clip, just be like, okay, I'm getting ready to get in my car and test this music. I get into the car, I set everything up. People can see me setting everything up. And then turn the car on, let the music go. Right? I'll let them experience that whole, let them see and experience that whole moment with me. Okay. They're just experiencing it with me. And the reason why they want to watch is because what is testing new music? Why is he testing it in his car? Okay. Now I'm not going to give no lecture about it. I'm just going to be like, I'm going to test my music in my car and see how it sounds. That's it. Get in, listen to it. And they're like, okay. And that's the end of it. So they've heard it and they've experienced they've experienced the vibe that whatever vibe that I come across, whatever, if I'm like sitting there like, ooh, okay, or I don't like it. Whatever vibe I have, they're experiencing the vibe and the music becomes the background. It becomes the soundtrack, I should say, becomes the soundtrack to my experience. And people like to see other humans experiencing vibes. That's what's popular now. That's what essentially content is. It's creating vibes for people to consume. Okay. All right. Post 2, which would be on TikTok and IG Reels, content. A short clip of me in the booth, crowd moving or heads nodding, caption Friday nights. Now, this will be easy because I have a lot of content already where people are vibing on a Friday night. Okay. And again, the music will be the soundtrack for that vibe. Okay. Post number 3, personality post, platform, IG feed or Facebook content, a photo of me, caption, quietly working. Okay. And again, in this case, it's a photo. So it's just going to be a little photo of me, probably here at my computer, working without the music. But they'll already know what this is all about because they're starting to get it like, okay, that song, it's the background. A really good example. I watch Boondocks. Okay. And for those out there who watch Boondocks like myself, Boondocks is just amazing. Like I'm addicted to Boondocks. All right. Every character in that cartoon has a soundtrack. So, like when Grandpa comes in, he has a soundtrack. Okay. How do I know that? Because I watch Boondocks because I'm entertained by the cartoon, but every time I start to learn the tunes, I can hear multiple tunes in my head already. Now, if you just ask me to listen to those songs independently without the cartoon, I'm like, why am I listening to these songs? They have no relevance. What's the connotation? What's the context? Why am I listening to this music? Right? When you're combining your music with a vibe or with content, you're creating context for that music, and people are more willing to listen to the music. And it's not a matter of like when you post a link, it's almost like you're saying, listen to the music and then give me your opinion. It's like homework, right? You post a link, you're like giving people homework, an assignment. Whereas when you just let the music be the soundtrack of your vibe, they're more caught up into the whole thing that comes with it. Me doing what I do, the music in the background, or the music is the soundtrack, and they're more willing to accept it as entertainment, not a homework assignment. Okay. It's very important that you understand that. All right. Post number 4 will be on TikTok. Um, Content will be brunch, street, studio lounge, song playing in the background. Again, no explanation. It's just certain things happening. Now, I could find different things on brunch. So I have like a lot of brunch content. I could create the street myself, studio, I can create that myself, or the lounge, I can create that myself. And then I have a clip, however long it is, maybe 7 seconds long, and the song is just playing in the background. Okay. No explanation, just that's it. I'm vibing, and the song is the soundtrack. All right. So that's the first week. The week number 2, dance and body language. Now that I've introduced everybody to the song, right? They know the song because they're looking at my vibes and they're looking at my experiences. They're looking at everything I'm doing, and they kind of got the song in the back of their mind. And I know that I will get more than 10 people hearing the song because whenever I post stuff on Instagram Reels or TikTok, I get way more than 10 people engaging. So it makes no sense. Hopefully, I've done my link post for the last time. Hopefully, you listen to me and never post a link again. Okay. You probably will get way more engagement just having things go on. And I'm gonna go to my Instagram and my TikTok just so I can prove that point. Okay. I'll show you my actual engagement. And it is way more than 10. Not way, but it is more than 10. Okay. All right. So week 2, let the movement sell the song. That's the goal, right? And so the post 1, 2, or 3, moving naturally, just not anything, like he says, not a full routine or anything, just a caption. This part right here, right? People, right? Post number 2, 5 to 7 seconds of people reacting. No faces needed, just caption. When the drop hit, okay? So I got plenty of content where people are just like dancing or they're having a good time, right? I'll probably won't use any of the line dance. I'll probably just have where people like I'll take like a little clip of them just like vibing together, and I'll use those instead of like the dancing, right? All right. Post number 3, very casual. Been testing something new in my sets lately. So he's referring to the fact that I'm a DJ. And again, I'll probably just take like a little selfie of me going to the club and just have the music on in the background. I won't be there like DJing or anything. It's just I might just be walking up to the spot and just take a selfie of me, right? And then just have that music in the background. So it's just slowly, okay? It just slowly. Now, this post 4 where it says throwback reference, post a clip of Soak City, Wobble, Cupid Shuffle, caption, group records always hit different. What he means is, okay, this particular song is one of those, it's very similar to Soak City. Okay, I've talked about that before in the past. It's very similar to Soak City. So I'm trying to like connect it my song with Soul City, right? My song with Wobble Wobble, my song with Cupid Shuffle, which is the same thing I do when I DJ. So if I were going to be playing these 4 songs, I probably would put my song after Soak City. I would play Soak City, then my song, then Wobble Wobble, and Cupid Shuffle. If I did that same routine numerous of times, the first time people would be confused. Huh? What's that? The second time I did it, people would be like, I guess that's a new song we're supposed to dance to. By the 4th or 5th time, somebody's creating some dance to it. Mad scientist, what you doing? You got your little song in here. And so they're gonna start joking and making their little dance to it. After a while, you post some clips of people making little dances to my funny little song, whatever, however they want to call it, to my little song, right? After a while, it catches on. And it wasn't me posting a clip that made it happen. It was me associating my music with these songs. Okay. All right. So that's week 2. Week 3, community and self involvement, right? Let other people become the content. Now, other people are going to start promoting it. This is like promotion 101. I could, if I want 100 people, I could try to get 100 people to come to an event. Ask 100 people, hey, come to my event. Or I could ask 5 females or 5 women to have a birthday party. Now, what do you think I would have greater success at? Convincing 5 women to have their birthday party when the average is between 15 and 20 people that are going to come to that birthday party, or convincing 100 people to come? It's going to be a lot harder to convince 100 people to come to my event as opposed to just talk to 5 and get the birthday. Hey, come on, have your birthday. I'll make sure you have a good time. Well, what about can I get a guest list? Oh, yeah. How many people on my guest list? You can have 1,000 if you want. Okay, bring 1,000 people. I don't have that many friends. Okay, just bring as many friends as you want. Okay, cool. What you gonna give me? We're gonna make sure you have a good time, number 1. Number 2, we're gonna bring out the sign. Oh, you guys got the sign? Yep. And then let me talk to the owner. Maybe we can give you a free bottle of champagne. Okay. Bingo. Works every time. So I could sit up here and try to post as many links, right? 100 links. Or I can get people to just kind of like vibe with it. Now I'm having an experience with the song. Somebody else is having a different experience with the song. Somebody else may have an experience that's totally different than both of us. We're all having different experiences and it just spreads, right? And I let them have their experience. I don't care what their experience is. What I care is that they have an experience. They create a vibe, okay? I'll tell you a really great story. This past Halloween, I actually felt this. The promoter did a really great job of having 6 DJs and trying to combine as many different groups of people. Like the DJs, like myself, that he hires generally have people, at least 10 to 20 people that are going to come just because I'm there. So if you got 6, and you multiply that by 20, that's over 100 people right there. And we all got our little cliques, okay? Think about high school in the lunchroom. Everybody's got their little cliques. Now, typically what happens is when you get a lot of people clicking differently in the same environment, it makes the environment a little bit more, not a little bit, a lot more dynamic, negative and positive. Now, it just so happened at the Halloween party, it was positive, right? But you had so many different kind of people there and everybody's vibing, right? So I say that to say that when you make your music, everyone's going to vibe to it differently. And that's okay. Let them vibe to it the way that they want to. Ultimately, what you want these groups to do is be willing to come together in one location, buy tickets, buy merch, okay? and vibe to the music that you create. All right. I'm telling you, I'm giving you guys some golden information. This perspective that I'm giving you is incredible because it's real. It's not something I read in a book. It's not something I'm making up just to make y'all click. There's no drama, just straight perspective that will help you be successful because that's where I am. I'm being successful. Okay. All right. The post two, we're on week 3. Post 2, IG story says put together a poll, club or brunch, night or day. No mention of the song. It just gets people. And now this is something I do to promote my events. I have a Saturday brunch event. I rarely put the flyer up. I put the flyer up maybe once a week. Okay. But other than that, what do I do most of the time? I talk about brunch. That's what I do. I'll put out a question. What's your favorite? I even talk about the day Saturday. I want people to think of me when they think Saturday, think of mad scientist. When they think of brunch, think mad scientist. I'm associating myself with Saturday and brunch and then Saturday brunch. Oh, you know who does Saturday brunch? Who? Mad scientists. Okay. And so when I'm in these Facebook communities, yes, Facebook, gotta go back, people. When I'm in these Facebook communities, I just want them to associate me. So a lot of times I'll put up questions that have nothing to do with the Saturday brunch event, but it's associating me with Saturday brunch, Saturday brunch. Okay. So this poll, because I'm a club DJ, I also have a brunch. People will be thinking on the IG story when they see it, here's a poll, vote. And they'll be like, oh, that's mad scientist. He's talking about clubs and brunch, night or day. Okay. Just associating myself. Then a DJ life clip, show USB, crate, Serato screen, caption, new folder loading. Again, we're not even talking about the song, but I'm introducing and associating myself. I'm reminding people, I'm putting myself in a position in their head. Mad Scientist is a DJ. Okay. And by the way, there's that theme song he got. Okay. Like Boondocks. Okay. So I'll probably just be showing it like USB crate, not USB, but just the Serato screen. I'll probably show my laptop. Just take a picture of my laptop, putting it away, maybe in my backpack, just packing up. And the music will be in the background. Okay. And the caption. I'll probably won't say new folder loading. I'll be like, getting ready for the show. Okay. All right. Simple quote. Records tell the truth in rooms. Okay. I really don't know what this means, to be honest. I ain't gonna lie. I probably would write something else, but it would be like a short quote. And again, it's a vibe, it's a moment. I remember I posted, Saturday brunches are a spiritual experience. I may post something like that. And then again, what's in the background? That song. Okay. Just very in the back. But people aren't going to be focused on the music. They're going to be focused on that post. Right. I may use that again. Okay. Now, last week, week 4, naming the moment. Now, this is the time where finally, like, they've heard the song, they've got the vibes. It's been 4 weeks. And now they're like, okay, we get it. Right. And so now we're going to start naming it like, hey, this is Pounded. That's the name of the song. It's Pounded. Right. I'll probably do something where it says first real mention. So I have an actual, if I were to go down here, I have an actual calendar of things. I'm not going to go through that again because this is long, But okay, post one, first real mention, Pounded, been moving differently lately. Okay, just kind of like getting people, and they're like, oh yeah, he talking about that song again, right? And then I'll let people do what they want to do with it. How are you vibing to it? Okay. And I probably would say that instead of saying, show me how you move this, be like, how you vibe to this song. Okay. And then and let them vibe to it. Okay. And then post number 4, a thank you post. I appreciate everybody who's been rocking, however you vibe with it. Appreciate it. Thank you. That's over 4 weeks. And my goal is to get as many people as possible to engage with the music and create a vibe of their own and be entertained by my vibe. That's really what the goal is. And then I have some specifics, which I'm not going to go over, right? I'm not going to go over, but I have some very specific things to do. And so I wanted to show that to you because this is something that I developed with AI. And so my next 4 weeks is going to actually be telling you what's going on, right? So like next Friday, I'm going to tell you what's going on with the first week, what happened, how it happened, what was the results, what was the reaction, blah, blah, blah. Okay. And so you guys get to live this experience with me as I go forward. Okay. Now I was going to wait until next week to let you hear. Should I wait until next week to let you hear the song? Uh, hmm. I got your attention right now. Come on, let's do it. But before I do that, let me I want to show you this real quick. I want to show you my Instagram engagement. And I want to show you my TikTok engagement. All right. And the reason why I'm showing you this, not because I have like big numbers, I don't. Okay, I'm not trying to brag or anything. It's just because I want you to see that it's more than 10 people that went, seen the links. So here's TikTok, right? So here's the videos I just did this past week. This was 2 weeks ago. I get good engagement. Okay. Pretty good engagement. This one for me, this particular one went really, really big. People like this video a lot. Like I got 20,000 views and 77 likes. People love this, right? Here's the only problem is that the song that she's dancing to is not mine. Actually, it's called You by Lucy Pearl, okay? And Snoop. That's what she's dancing to. And or it might be Soap City. I have to like listen to it, but it's one of those. But it's not mine. Okay. Now it gets people to come to this event, right? But here's the economics of it. Let me slow down for a minute. This event that I'm referring to, it is very successful. Okay. And I make good money on it. I'm gonna tell you how much money I make on a week. On a good week, I make about 750 to 8. On an average week, I make about 650. Okay. And this post will let me help me. Okay. And that's a week. If I had my own song, let's say she was dancing to my song, I could make 650 or more within an hour, depending on the popularity of the song. So the economics says I could sit up here and make this content with somebody else's music and make my $650 to $800 per week. And let's say I did that for the rest of my life. Okay. And you could add all that up, it'll never make as much as if she was dancing to my actual song. And just 1 year of my song. And let's just say I had one hitter quitter, I would probably still make more money than if I were to make 650 to 800 every week for the rest of my life. And let's say I live to be 90. Okay. That's a long time, right? I still will make more money if I own the song than if I just had everybody come to that event for the rest of my life till I'm 90. Okay. So that's the perspective that you want to understand, that when you write your own music and you get people to vibe off of it, economically, you're just going to make more money. That's just bottom line. I know I have to explain that to you, but I explain it to you regardless, because at the end of the day, sometimes we need to hear it out loud. Okay. And so that's why, like, I spent years getting to the point where I could learn how to DJ very well so that people enjoy what I do in there and they are entertained by my DJ sets. And I have people who would like for me to DJ for their club or lounge or whatever. But that's only going to get me $200-300 a night. For my brunch, 600 to 800. I need to get to the point where I learn how to create records that I own so that I can make more money. Okay? That's what it comes down to. That's the economics of it. Again, let me show you guys my Instagram reels, right? My IG engagement. Okay? I go to my reels. These are my reels. I get pretty good numbers, you know. I get pretty good numbers. But again, these people are dancing to music that doesn't belong to me. You understand? It doesn't belong to me. And so I have some really memorable posts. Like, I remember this one. Right? This was a good time. But again, the music doesn't belong to me. And so I wanted to show you one. Oh, this is one of my favorite posts, right? I made this lady into a meme. Watch her right here. I made her into a meme, right? Because she was having a great time. But the song over here is Nokia. That's Drake. He's a millionaire. I'm not. There's one that this one. This was like a huge moment. Like, if I were to turn the sound on, I got the whole spot singing Before I Let You Go. Oh my God, that was a big moment, right? And everybody's dancing. This is one of the best moments I had with my brunch, right? But again, I don't own that song, Before I Let You Go. Before I let go. That's Frankie Beverly and Maze, right? I don't own it. So the economics says, as you see, here's proof. My party is cracking. My parties be cracking. Here's proof. If you need social proof, here it is. But here's the deal. At the end of the day, $200 a night, $300 a night. And for my brunch, 600 to 800, depending on who come. You can add it all up for the rest of my life. It will never add up to, or it will never be more than if I just have my own song. And so that's what I'm working for. That's what I'm working towards. And you're going to be on this journey with me, okay? You're going to be on this journey with me. We're going to see if it works. But even if it doesn't, well, I won't say it like that. No, I'm going to say it like this. it is going to work. The level of going to work, I don't know. Okay. It will be successful, but what is the success going to, what level of success will I experience? I don't know. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to enjoy this experience for the next 4 weeks. And I'm going to have a good time with it. And I'm going to be authentic. I'm not going to be phony with it. And I'm pretty sure I'm going to make mistakes, but that's okay. That's part of the journey. Okay. So, that being said, I want to thank everybody who came through today. I want to thank everybody who paid attention. I will definitely see you next Friday. If not, you can come see me on Wednesday. I'm going to do my hot takes. And please like, subscribe, share, let everybody know that I'm out there and that I give you guys really, really good information. Okay. If you have any comments or anything, or questions, you can always leave a comment. Please like, subscribe, and share so the algorithm knows that I'm doing something right. Okay. Thank you guys very much. I appreciate you.